Live from New York. No. Hi everyone, this is Billy V, and I just wanted to talk about the energies of these past few weeks. They've been pretty much intense. And I don't know those of you out there who are very sensitive to what's going on in the world and your spiritual development. You'll find that as the energy comes in uh, from your higher self, as you start recalibrating your energy with the higher self, that sometimes you may feel a little fiery energy inside of you and how you deal with your people around you. What happens is that you become so sensitive that you start almost telepathically feeling their negativity. And it could be something very subtle. And the biggest challenge with this is dealing with people who you're very close to, family members, co-workers, things like that. And and because we're still growing and changing in this new paradigm, um, you really have to, for myself anyway, I really have to really take time to meditate and do all the things that I've talked in previous uh, um, posts that I put out, because building up the foundation of you grounding with the earth and connecting to your highest self and allowing this energy to come in and transcend your being, so you can almost separate your um, your highest self with the 3D model of who you are. Like in this life, I'm Billy, right? So that comes with all the experiences and all the positives and the negatives and all the crap I've been through all my life and all the beautiful things I've been through all my life. Family, children, no sleep, sicknesses, people dying, all the things that you deal in the 3D, right? And the higher perspective, the higher self will give you that higher perspective on how you visually see that. So now the more intention you put out that you want to co-create with your higher self, sometimes they open up the faucet and it's a bit much. We're like, swallowing too much spiritual energy and it becomes overwhelming. Okay, you can speak to your guides and your angels and your higher self to kind of chill out and give you a break, and also take time to take a break. Take time to rest. Your body will talk to you. Like with me, I get pains in my neck and my shoulders because I feel too much on, like I'm carrying too much. Um, and immediately, if I go out and ground myself and elevate my thoughts, do my Kegel exercises, um, put visual intention of the energy up, moving up through my spine, through my to my seeing eye, um, and activating the hemisphere of my brain, that field gets bigger, and I feel okay. Sometimes I'll even, like this week, I usually go to jacuzzi 1 day a week. I went twice because I needed to just release the tension off my body. And doing exercise and working out and all those type of, go for a walk or going into nature, take time just to go out. It's so important to do those things, because the energies, we're on a ride and of elevation, of recalibration of who we are, so we can co-create a higher unity, a higher, more compassionate life in our own lives, and put us in a place where we'll have direct access to our intuition as to how to navigate our lives, right? Instead of dealing with our past experiences and the 3D and our experiences of life, where typically before we will look back at that and figure out what's the next move. And it's hard to tell, especially how chaotic the world is today, as to what to do, right? Because if you look at the governments and society, and it looks like everything is collapsing. It's a game show right now, what's happening. It's just, you have to laugh. And I try to avoid looking at it, but every now and then it follows through, and you catch glimpses of what's happening. And for me, I have to take it with a grain of salt, because all I know is that the same way I live where I live and I control my environment and the things I do on a daily basis and how I interact with my energy with money, because money is energy, right? How you speak about money is who you are. If you're always telling yourself, I'm broke, I'll never have anything, you're a victim, life isn't fair, if you're constantly speaking these spells, that's what you're going to have. If you're speaking positive intentions, that things will come, that you believe. You have to believe with every fiber of your being that things will come. Things will be better for you. You'll magically, it's like man, you'll meet the right person. You put the intentions of what you need in your life and how to and eventually you'll start manifesting these things. Especially now, as you notice, the energy is moving a lot faster. So in doing so, it's moving so fast that if you're thinking negatively and you're down talking and speaking poorly about yourself, you're not loving yourself, then that's what you're going to co-create. If you're loving yourself and you're practicing your exercises through meditation, walking, discipline with foods, what kind of foods you're interacting with. Read the labels. If there's crap in the labels, don't eat it. I know it's hard. I know sometimes it's a habit, binge eating and things like that. I know I've dealt with that in my life too. But I've come to a point where I kind of have a routine as to the vegetables I eat and all the good stuff, all organic. That's for me. That works for me. For you, you got to figure out what works for your body. Your body will speak to you. The body has its own intelligence. So it's so important to ride the higher wave if possible. But definitely it takes daily practice, because remember, you have to overcome whatever years you have on this planet, 40, 50, 60 years of the boxes that you were taught to live in. And now we're saying, go inside and get all the answers, right? And if you think about it in the 3D, you say, well, that's crazy. What are you talking about? How am I going to make money by going inside? It doesn't make any sense in the 3D. But as you start investigating your intuition and things start happening for you, you'll get magical moments along the way. These serendipities that will come to you, and it could be in forms of numbers showing up on license plates. It could be songs playing. It could be a certain butterfly because your mom passed away and she believed in butterflies. They keep on showing up everywhere you go. This is not an accident. Yeah. So these things really happen, and you have to pay attention to that because it's in the unseen, right? As if when you set a goal, you imagine it, you think about it, and you put it out with your imagination, and all of a sudden you start receiving ways of maybe how you can make it happen, and you meet people and things happening, and the door closes here, but you go in another direction, and then you wake up 5 years later and you say, how the hell did I get here? This is insane, right? Like for myself, I grew up in New York City. Never thought in my wildest dreams I would live in California. And when I hit 30, I was living in California. I sold everything, and people said I was nuts. I was crazy that we were going to fall into the ocean. Well, guess what? It's been, 40 years later, and I'm still here, and we haven't fallen into the ocean, right? And I created a beautiful life here, comparably, to the life I had in the South Bronx growing up in that world. It's like night and day, But I learned a lot about myself through those challenges, and that's how we learn as human beings. Because in this planet, it's a play, it's a game of positive and negatives, and how you can go inside and develop your God energy inside so you can co-create a better life for yourself. And that's really what it comes down to. Now, going back to what I was saying, I don't know if I missed the mark of where I started off with this, but the energy coming in. The energy coming in is so intense. Take time to center yourself, breathe, be aware of your breath. On one of my past videos, I talked about how to breathe, because we take breathing for granted. So start breathing and start paying attention to breathing, because without breath, there's no life. This physical body cannot live without breath, and we just do it naturally, like it's a natural thing. But this air is here 1 second, and it's down the road the next second, and before you know it, it's all the way in China the next second. We're constantly breathing each other's air, right? So air is a magical thing that we have to investigate and get reacquainted with, to understand who we are in our breath, then to imagine, to see with our imagination as we're putting things out, and being centered and feeling love. Think of love in your body, contemplate a love on your body, and especially when the energies, I guess, because of the full moons or whatever's going on. I don't know much about the zodiac and all that stuff. I have my chart done and things like that, but that stuff is real as far as I'm concerned. It really is, and maybe that if you are gifted in that way, you should just look into that more to find to find what works for you. But being in tune with whatever gets you to a place to help you. It could be a mentor. It could be someone that you do counseling with. Someone you could speak that'll listen to you. But sometimes you have to kind of dump your stuff so you can look at it. It's like your eyes. Like I can see everybody through my eyes, but through my eyes I can't see myself. How do I see I need a mirror. Back in the old days when there was no mirrors, people didn't know unless they looked at the reflection in the water. So in that same way, sometimes we need some help. We need to go out and ask for a healing session. I'm a Reiki master, so and I've done other healing modalities, so that kind of helps. A massage, just to take care of yourself, to recenter, because these are trying times, and it's going to get harder, to be honest with you, in the 3D outside world. But I believe, and what I'm hearing is that as you discover your essence and your highest self starts to dwell inside of you, you will co-create your own life, just like, and I was saying this earlier, I didn't finish. I co-create my own life here, but there's other lives going on right next door to me, and it's totally different than my life, right? And if you go to Europe, they live totally different than we live here, and so forth and so on. All around the planet, human beings in their own places live differently, even though we're part of this planet, right? So in the same way, you can co-create your own life by the energy you put out, how you react to lower energies, and how you allow yourself to reach a high frequency of thought and love and compassion. And basically what you put out is what you get. You'll get the love and compassion in your life tenfold more. And the more human beings that at that level you'll come across, and they vibrate at your level, and now you kind of develop a new family, and that may happen. A new family of friends and acquaintances or whatever at that frequency, and that develops power. Sometimes people in our lives that want to stay in a lower frequency, that has happened in my life. There's many people I left behind that were very close to me at one time, and they're no longer in my life, and that's okay, because there's no wrong and right with this. This is planet Earth is a master community for souls to come in and take on bodies to experience polarity, positive and negative. That's what this planet is about. And just so happens the rules of this planet is through challenges you grow, right? If you're vibrating higher, the challenge comes, and it's a flat tire, right? The challenge is here is a flat tire. I try to fix it. If I can't, I call AAA, they come and fix it. At a lower vibration, it's the end of the world. Oh my God. I need a new tire. And then this whole negative thing goes on, and it can last for weeks and months. And then something else happens, and something else happens. And 3, 4, 5 years down the road, that person is really in a dark, dark way of energy, because life is unfair and they're victims. And you're only a victim if you allow yourself to be a victim, because we all come from the source. We all came down on this planet and had a veil put upon us to grow up in the system, to punch out and rediscover yourself. That's the game. Go in the system, blindfolded, come out and rediscover yourself, and rediscover the God connection that you are with Source, that you are part of that. We are a speck of that comes in. And that's, as far as I know, that's the truth, and I've lived that throughout my life, and I know that works for me. So find your own way, figure it out. If what I'm saying doesn't resonate, then find someone else that resonates with you, because if I say something that urges you on and you say, well, I believe half of it and the other half, well, great, then move on, and it's okay, because those who are out there to hear these kind of messages, that's what they're for. So I hope this information helps, and just remember to breathe, stay in love, imagine light going through your heart, and as you enlighten yourself, everybody around you will feel it and you'll help them too. You don't have to tell them what to do, you just have to be. So you guys have a wonderful day. Love in the light, love you, and I'll see you next time. Mwah.